Hello everybody, I hope you're well, hope you're having a good day, and welcome to another Friendly Trees Tech Talk. So I recently released a video that was about sidestepping with Nina in Tekken 7, and today I thought I'd put in a video to kind of complement that, tracking with Nina in Tekken 7. So, into practice mode we go. Let's pick some customs. Let's go for Blood Vengeance Nina versus Imposter Anna Nina. As always, I'm going to pick an Infinite stage, Arctic Snowfall, nice and easy for you to see what's going on with the characters, hopefully. By the way, sorry I do not have my inputs for this video. I've had a lot of technical issues trying to record this video, so it's been pretty frustrating, and I do have some images that I want to show, so I'd rather have those images instead. Alright, so what are we going to go through today? We're going to talk about what tracking is, we're going to talk about how it works in this game, and we're going to show you how it applies to Nina, and hopefully show you how you can alter or use your gameplay to help with Nina's tracking. So Tekken, of course, is a 3D fighter, not only in terms of the models being 3D, but in terms of the combat. So Nina can, well, any character can sidestep into the background or into the foreground. Sidestep left or sidestep right, depending on what side you're on. So it's a tap, and to sidewalk it's a double tap and hold. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so tracking is in regards to the move that you're using. So let's say, for example, I do a down forward 4. You can see this move, Nina just puts her foot out in front of her, right? Opposed to something like a forward 3 or a down back 2. You can see her move physically actually move from side to side in the horizontal axis, in the x-axis, I guess, or the z-axis. There's a z-axis, isn't it, for 3D? Alright, so this is what tracking is. Tracking is with regards to the move you're using, whether or not it follows to the side, into the background or the foreground. So if it's something like a down forward 4, that looks pretty straight, you'd expect that the move can be sidestepped. Something like, yeah, down back 2, or let's say even a standing 4 as well. You can see Nina's leg goes out to the side, so you'd hope that it would also follow to the side if the opponent were to move in the correct direction. So let's quickly test this out, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set Imposter Anna to jab, down forward 4. Now if I sidestep left, well, yeah, if I sidestep left after the jab, yeah, you can see it does not hit. And if I sidestep right after the jab, it does not hit. This means that the move is what we consider linear, so it only goes forward, it does not go to either side. The opponent can sidestep it in both directions. That means the move does not track either way. Alternatively, if we go to her standing 4, so Imposter Anna, do a standing 4. Now if I try and sidestep left, it hits me. Alright, sidestep left, hits. If I sidestep right, it does not hit me. Sidestep right does not hit. And of course, if I'm just standing here, it connects too. That's an important thing I need to point out about this. Even though I'm sidestepping and it's hitting, I'm talking about the move physically connecting, okay? It doesn't mean that it has to hit and be not blocked, so it can still be blocked. So for example, if I were to sidestep and block, sidestep left and block, oh, sorry, I can still block it. And a move can track and still be unsafe. So the opponent could sidestep, block, and then punish you for whatever move you do if it's unsafe. Alright? So 4, if I sidestep left, it connects. That means it tracks to the person using its right, and that means that it's strong, it beats the opponent doing a sidestep left. So that in that situation, Nina appears strong to her right, strong against opponent's sidestepping left. The next move I want to look at is down forward 1+2. So this is what's called a homing move. You can tell that by the little white dots or the little white sparks that you see. So down forward 2 and down back 2 both have these little white sparks, and every character in the game has at least one move that has this sort of white spark or white dot to follow it. And that means that the move is a homing move, and it should follow in both directions. So if we record down forward 1 plus 2. So if I try and sidestep left, it beats me. Once again, I can still block. Likewise, sidestep right, it beats me. Once again, still block. Alright? Now, just because a move doesn't have white lines, doesn't mean it won't track both directions. So different characters have different moves that track in both directions, as well as the homing moves. Okay, and so that's an example of a move that tracks to the left and the right, meaning it's strong to the opponent sidestepping in either the left or the right direction. So if you have an opponent that's sidestepping a lot, it's good practice to try and use these moves because you know they cannot sidestep them either way. Anyway, now let's go on to these images that I've mentioned earlier. So the reason that you can't see my inputs is because of these images. I've made a spreadsheet of Nina's moves that track in which direction compared to sidestep and sidewalk. It may not be entirely accurate, so I do recommend that you look at it and you test it yourself, because I have had to do it in a bit of a hurry. Also, for the purpose of this video, I am not going through every single move in it because we're looking at well over 100. Actually, before we go on to that, I do want to talk about a few strings, okay? So we'll just quickly look at strings that aren't going to be included in these images. So, for example, Nina's down forward 3-2-3. This is a move that even if you block the first 2 hits, you can still sidestep during it to always avoid the final hit, if they do down forward 3-2-3. So in this case, down forward 3-2, sidestep left. If I try and sidestep right, if I try and sidestep right, it'll track. Another one we want to look at quickly is down 3-2-3. Sorry, down 3-4-3. Just a common string you see people use for pressure. Alright, sidestep left. Sorry, it's slow. Yep. And sidestep right. So you can see that's an example, another example of a linear move, an example of a move that is weak to the opponent's sidestepping left. But now let's finally go to these images. So we're going to start with one-hit moves that are linear. So the way this spreadsheet works, you can see up the top you've got SSL, sidestep left, SWL, side walk left, SSR, sidestep right, SWR, side walk right. I've got the input for the move to the left in the grey column, and I've got just a note about it, such as it being linear or, beat sidestep left, something like that. And for some reason I've chosen a Y, just yes. So for example, 1 plus 4, side walk left. Y means that if the opponent does a sidewalk left, it will track. And this is all based on after a jab, so the opponent doing the 1 plus 4 is plus when they do it. Or, yeah. So, looking at this, you can see that 2, 3, 1 plus 4, forward plus 2, forward 4, down back 3 plus 4, back 3, back 4, back 1 plus 2, up forward 1, up forward 2, forward 2, forward 3, forward 1 plus 2, quarter circle back 4, while running 1 plus 2 and sidestep 1 are all pretty linear. They all lose to a sidestep left or a sidestep right with the right timing. 1 plus 4 will track following someone doing a sidewalk left, and while running 1 plus 2 will track someone sidewalking either direction. And the reason for that is I've more put that because of the timing. So if you were to do a sidestep in the last moment against the while running 1 plus 2, once she jumps up, the move becomes linear from then on. If you were to be sidewalking before they do it, it'll follow. So you've got to have pretty tight timing to sidestep it, I suppose. Anyway, let's look at 1 plus 4 and let's look at forward plus 2, just for quick examples. Hopefully quick. So once again, jab 1 plus 4. If I sidestep left, sidestep left after the jab, sorry. You see that doesn't track. If I sidewalk left, it does track. If I sidestep right, completely misses. Remember, of course, when a move completely misses, you're vulnerable to a launch. For example, oh, sorry. Yeah. Side walk right. Too easy. Yeah. So that's just as per the spreadsheet. Likewise, forward 2. Side step left. Side walk left. Side step right. Side walk right. Alright. Let's go on to moves that only track to the left. So, same sort of setup as before, and you can see to the right in the yellow column it says track side step left. So 1, 4, forward 1 plus 2, down forward 3, down 1 and down back 3 and back 2 all track side step left to side step left and side walk left. So let's have a look at, we'll go down back 3, and as well as that you can see a down forward 1, up forward 4, that's hold up forward, the one that's a counter hit launcher, quarter circle forward 4, and while standing 4, track to side step left but do not track to side walk left. So let's have a look. Let's do down forward 1. So we'll do down forward 1 and we'll do down back 3, okay? Jab, down forward 1. You see here, jab, side step left, hits me. Once again, I can still block it. Sorry. Why am I doing that? Pressing it way too early. Yeah, see, I can still block. If I side walk, what? I don't know why I'm doing that. Brain moment, guys. No brain moment. Yeah, side walk. And if I go to the right, and side walk right. Yeah. Down back 3, jab, down back 3. Side step left, yep. Side walk left, it catches me. Side step right, it does not. Side walk right, does not. Once again, I can still block, so I can go side step, block low, or side walk, block low. That still works. Okay, let's go on to moves that side step right. Okay, track side step right only, sorry. So here you can see not many not many good ones either. So I mean, you got back 1 that tracks both side step right and side walk. Quarter circle forward 2 does as well. While standing 1 does as well. And that's it for Nina's one hit moves, first hit moves that track side step right. You've also got quarter circle forward 1 that will catch them if they side step right. And you've got quarter circle forward 3. Now you see with the side step 2 and the side step 1 plus 2, I've got depending on side step. So what I'm talking about here is if the opponent side steps left, then does a side step 2, it will track, it will catch you if you side step right. But if they side step right and do a side step 2, it will not. And you can still side walk it. Likewise with side step 1 plus 2. Okay, so let's put these into practice. Let's look at quarter circle forward 2, and we'll look at side step 2 as well. So if I go jab, quarter circle forward 2. So first I'm going to side step left, right behind them, side walk left, still right behind them. Oops. So if I side step left there, they're back turned, I get a full launch. So you can see the risk in here. If I side step right, sorry, we'll get the jab to hit. It hits. And that was me blocking, so if I don't block, it's going to do that. If I side walk right, hits me as well. So that covers it pretty well. That covers side step right pretty well, but it does not work very well against left at all because you get a full back turn punish if they do a side step left. Alright, and let's look at side step 2. So I'm going to do 2 jabs here into side step 2, just for the automatic side step cancel for the timing. Okay, so I side step left, I side walk left, I side step right, Once again, I can block it, and I sidewalk right. No, I duck. I duck again. Oh, it's catching me now. There we go. So it's kind of tight to sidestep that, but you can. Sorry, kind of tight to sidewalk it, but you can. Alright, the last page, everyone. These are moves that track sidestep left and sidestep right. So forward 3, you can see you can sidewalk left it, but it beats every other option. Down forward 1+2, we know it's a homing move. Down 2, so sidewalk left, but it beats every other option. Down 3 beats every option. Down 4 beats every option. Down back 2 is a homing move again. Down back 4 beats every option. Back 1+4, if you include the second hit, it'll beat sidestep left, sidestep right, and sidewalk left, but you can sidewalk right it. Up forward 3 does pretty well. Up forward 4 does okay with the sidesteps, but you can sidewalk. Forward 1+2 hold. You can, well, it beats sidesteps, but you can sidewalk it, but it's quite difficult. Wipe the floor beats everything except sidewalk right. While standing 2, everything except sidewalk left. While standing 3, the sidesteps. While standing back 1, everything except sidewalk left. Sidestep 4, everything except sidewalk left, but that depends on the sidestep. So just like before, if they sidestep right and then do a sidestep 4, it'll track every way. Okay, so let's have a look at back 1+4, and let's have a look at down 2. Jab, back 1+4. Start off, we're just going to sidestep left, and it tracks. Quite tricky to block too. If I sidewalk, you see that second hit. Second hit tracks. Sidestep right, catches. Once again I can block. Sidewalk right. Yeah. Okay, down 2. Sidestep left. Beats me. Once again I can block it. Sidewalk left. Yeah. Sidestep right. Once again I can block it. Sidewalk right. It tracks. Yeah. Okay, so that's a bit of a rundown of the different moves. Now let's actually talk about their usability. So we're going to go back through all the images again and just discuss them a little bit. So 2 and 3, I mean you're not going to use that much. 1+4 you do quite a bit, but you know it's pretty linear. So you've got to be careful when you use it. You want to be at quite high frame advantage. Forward +2, the main reason you'd use this is for a counter hit bait, or you'd probably use it to try and get in from about mid-range. So you want to try and use this in a situation, once again, where they can't sidestep. Down back 3+4, you really use it as a whiff punish. Back 4 using it as a counter hit bait. Hold on, do I not have down forward 4 on here? Sorry guys, down forward 4 should be on here. Up forward 1 using as a launcher. Up forward 2 a hit confirm launcher. Once again, you've got to be careful with people stepping. While running 1+2, it's another move you try and get in with, and I mean it's tight to sidestep if possible. You've got to be careful. Sidestep 1, you're only using it very optimal range, and you want to be trying to condition the opponent. They have to be respecting you before you use that much. So be careful with those moves. Moves that track sidestep left. I mean a 1 jab and a down forward 1, we're going to be using those all the time. Forward 1+2, you know you've got to be careful because it's neg 14, so a lot of people can launch it even if it's a power crush. Down forward 3 you're using a lot, and you can be confirming that for damage, or you can be using it as a 14 frame punish, of course. That can wall splat if you do down forward 3, forward 4. Down back 3 is an amazing low, you should be using a fair bit. Just be aware that if they sidestep right, you're going to have trouble. Back 2 you're using as a 12 frame punish. While standing 4 you should be using a lot too, but once again just be aware, be careful of the situation. Moves that sidestep right. Back 1, I mean honestly, I never mean to use that move. quarter circle forward 1, you should be using that. It's another move probably from mid-range you'd be trying to get in with a lot. So it's good that that sidesteps right, or tracks sidestep right a little bit. Quarter circle forward 2, you use it a bit, but I think I demonstrated the risk before. If you're versing an opponent that knows to sidestep left in that situation, you've got to be careful. But most people should be sidestepping right against Nina, because you can see how few sidestep right moves she has. Quarter circle forward 3, risky, but you can use it to get in. While standing 1, I mean, this is a move you should be using all the time, and if you can use this to mix up to people who are trying to sidestep right all the time, at least this one will track a lot. And sidestep 1+2 you use a fair bit. I'd be very careful with sidestep 2, only use it if you know it's going to hit. Next we've got forward 3. So I mean, this is good, it's +6, and you can see it tracks very well. Counter hit launcher 2. Just got to be wary that it's a high, and even on block you can duck the second hit. Down forward 1+2, you've just got to be wary of the range, but it's a safe move that tracks and gives you crazy frame advantage. Down 2, really this is your go-to low most of the time, because it's only -11 on block and it's neutral on hit. A great low, and I mean its tracking just shows that it can cover how weak her sidestep right is, and sidestep left should someone sidestep left. Down 3, I mean you're really using this for counter hit baiting, aren't you? You're trying to get a down 3-2 if you use this, but it tracks well. Likewise with down 4, well, not quite likewise. Down 4 is an amazingly fast low, but you're using it as a poke, using it to check people and stop them from sidestepping, or make them feel like they need to duck a bit so you can hit them with mids. Down back 2, a slow homing move, so another, I guess, mid-range a lot of the time. Down back 4 you don't really want to use because you're just going to fall to the ground, and the follow-up's very unsafe. Back 1+4, once again, it's a whiff punish, or just a normal punish, I guess, but you can throw it out. It's neg 15, so launch punishable by everyone really. Up forward 3 is okay at neg 10, not bad to use. Up forward 4, I mean it's got long range and it tracks sidestep both way. If you're a fan of using can opener, I suppose, you've just got to be careful because it is a high, and the only follow up to it is a low parryable low. Forward 1+2, you've got to be careful with the startup. I'd normally only use this when, like, in an Oki situation, or a situation where they can't interrupt it in any way, because, I mean, it puts you plus, does a lot of damage, hits OTG, but it's slow. Wipe the floor, down forward 4, you've got to be careful with that too, just because it's so unsafe, but it tracks well. While standing 2, while standing 3, while standing back 1, I wouldn't use those too much. While standing 2 is a while standing punish, but that's about it. And sidestep 4, I mean it's not bad, it's a pretty safe low once again, and a counter hit launcher. But yeah. So going through all these moves, you want to just sort of look at the situation you're in and try and use ones to cover your distance. If you're noticing the opponent sidestepping a lot, try and be observant of which side they're going to. And try and, for example, if they're sidestepping right all the time, try and use things like down 2, try and use things like quarter circle forward 1, quarter circle forward 2, while standing 1. If they're sidestepping left a lot, then I mean, just use like jabs, down forward 1, down back 3, things like that. Am I missing down forward 2 from here too? Sorry guys, I don't think all of them carried over. Anyway, you can look at this yourself. Like I said, it's in the About section, so you can go to there, and please let me know if anything is missing, and please let me know how it tracks. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. It's been a pretty long video, we've gone through a fair bit, and hopefully you've learned a bit. Please share in the comments anything else you'd like me to go through. Please share in the comments what you use to try and cover Nina's weakness in tracking, if you think she has a weakness in tracking. Likewise, if you think she's got very good tracking, please let me know. Please let me know why. Well, anyway, as always, please like and subscribe. I'm really grateful for all the support, so thank you very much. I hope to keep making more videos. Please let me know if there's anything you'd like me to do. And as always, catch you next time.